We'll get back. What about um, you when you came back? The story how you made a deal with your friend to talk about his what happened to your buddy Ernie Borgia.
Oh yeah, well, my buddy Ernie Bozier from Somerville, he come in from the when he was in a what they call a college program. The soldiers were going to college and to get be trained, and when that thing closed down, they all ended up in the infantry, and Ernie ended in our company. He was from Somerville, and I was from Cambridge, which was a couple of miles apart. And one night in the hall we were talking, and we said if something happened, we'd go see the parents. And he got killed 2 days later. And the hardest thing I had to do was go to Winthrop Road to see the mother and family, and I had to do it because of him. And it was the toughest thing I had to do.
Winthrop Road. You remember the name of the street?
Oh, I forget the name.
No, Winthrop Road.
Winthrop Road, that was the name of the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the guys that you fought with during the service, Dad. Any of them particularly stand out? Guys that you remembered, or?
There was a kid from East Cambridge, Eddie Lopes. He was in the 328 in our division. And when we were in our little battle in France, I had a feeling I wanted to see him, so the company commander let us take the Jeep. And we found him. He was in the 101st. And we finally found him, and he told me he was up on the hill, so we get up the hill, and I seen Eddie, and I seen him on the 7th of November. And we knew the push was coming the 8th, and he says, take care of yourself. I says, I'll see you back home. But Eddie didn't make it. That November the 8th, he got a direct hit with driving a company commander up on a hill. It was a direct hit by 88. Him and the captain went to heaven. And I had just an inkling to see him. I don't know why, but it was a good thing I saw him. Because he's my brother Frankie's really buddy. He was my brother Frankie's age.
And Sharapa Street is named after someone you served with over in Cambridge.
Yeah, Sharapa Street's named after a kid who was in 101st too. And he was platoon sergeant, and he got it in France too. And they named the street after him. I think Eddie Lopes had a little square marked out in East Cambridge.
And there's another street in your brother, your cousin.
9th Street was named after my cousin Georgie Fulkerson. He was killed in Guadalcanal. He was unloading a ship of mines, and it blew up, and it took him and the rest of the guys with it.
Do you think it was worth it?
Huh?
Do you think it was worth fighting all that war?
Well, World War II was a long time between wars, and when the Japs hit Pearl Harbor, everybody wanted to join. The lines was a mile long. Everybody wanted to get in and win the war.
How do you feel now, Dad, that everybody looks back at these people like from your generation and thinks they're the best, the greatest generation? And I mean, it's just been your life, but now people recognize everything that your generation did.
Yeah, but they say our generation is the greatest, but I say give the kids that are over there in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iraq coming home. They done a heck of a job, and they done 2 or 3 tours over there. I could never do 2 or 3 tours like they're doing. So I think they're good. I think they're greater than us.
Do you think was combat what you thought it was going to be like when you trained?
Well, we trained to kill or be killed. That's the infantry motto was kill or be killed. And when we got into combat, we realized it was a true saying. It was either kill or be killed. Combat is something you could be talking to somebody 2 minutes later, he's gone.
Yeah.
It was war is something I wouldn't want anybody to experience. And I really don't know how these kids are doing 2 or 3 tours over those countries.
Yeah.
And that's why they're having so many suicides in this army, because they can't take it anymore.
Yeah. Tell me once a story about I asked you once if you ever were really scared in the war, and you told me about the night you had to go out with knives on a patrol to capture some Germans.
Oh yeah, well one night we were assigned to a combat patrol bringing prisoners, and we had this lieutenant. He was this cool little cucumber on there, and he was the patrol leader. And we come upon an outpost, and he grabbed the first guy and slashed him, and we took the other two prisoners and brought them back for questioning.
Funny story you told me once about the guy who had the coat factory and he had the fake dog and they sent him home on a. Do you remember that one? He was like he went out on a Section 8.
Oh yeah, yeah. A Jewish guy from New York, and his father was in the manufacturing business making uniforms for the service. And he says, I gotta get out of here because I could become a millionaire. And he started walking around holding his hand, watch out for my dog, watch out for my dog. And everybody knew he was bucking to get out. And one day we had the colonel inspection of barracks, and the colonel stepped in and he says, watch out for my dog. And the colonel says to the captain, send him to the medic, send him to the hospital. He came back about 2 weeks later with the discharge, and he got out. And after I got out, it happened one year, we go to Atlantic City for vacation, and we were on a steel pier at a dance hall, and I spotted this guy, and I said to my buddy, I know that guy, he was in the ordnance with me. And I walked up to him and I says, watch out for my dog. And he says, I don't recognize you. I said, I recognize you, 482nd Ordnance. He says, oh yeah. I says, how'd you do? He says, oh, I got out, I'm a millionaire. He says, we cleaned up making uniforms for you guys.
Good man. How about the time you thought you were in your foxhole and you thought there was Germans approaching you, but it turned out later not to be Germans?
One night we were on an outpost, and I was sleeping, and one of the new guys was on watch. And he woke me up and he says, Sergeant, I heard noises over there. So he says, I think it's a patrol. So I listened and yeah, it's okay. So we all took grenades and we heaved them over the hill. And we didn't hear no more movement. The next day we crawled out there was a big cow blowing up with the hand grenades.
Steak and cheese subs that day, right?
Huh?
Steak and cheese sandwich that day.
Yeah, the southern guys knew what to do with them. They strung them up and we were eating steaks. And then the colonel found out. He came by and he says to the captain, I need some beef. I hear you guys got a lot of beef, so we had to give him some to keep him quiet.
How about the time they shot the guy riding the motorcycle through town?
Oh yeah, well we were on a town outside of France, and we were on a point, and this motorcycle driver came up, and the guy said, I said, take care of him. So they opened up and they knocked him off. So we went out there, we found a briefcase, and we were all millionaires, but we didn't know it. Brand new marks. He was a paymaster going up to free the Germans. But the guy started blowing money around, and if we got out, A Company was loaded with dough.